Talk about the Strong-Callahan feud. The Strong-Callahan feud I'm actually connected to. So the Strong-Callahan feud, you got the Strong, Deaton, Smith, Baker, Callahan feud. That works too. Why? Because the Deaton, Smith, Bakers were on the side of Strongs, and the more allies you can get, the better. So here's from the Herald-Democrat, April 3rd, 1914. Doc Smith admitted to being one of the three individuals firing shots at Ned Callahan. So the sheriff of Breathitt County is going to get shot and killed, and Doc Smith is going to admit that he was one of the three shooters that shot at Ned Callahan, KKK, sheriff, low-life piece of shit. Now, Doc Smith, his brother is Govan Smith. Well, Govan Smith, that is my great-great, my double-great. He'll be the star of the next family history book. Govan Smith is the father of Sarah Elizabeth Smith. Sarah Elizabeth Smith and Edward Deaton had Ralph Benjamin Deaton, which had my father. So, Sarah Elizabeth Smith, that's fantastic. That means my bloodlines goes through not only Breathitt County, but it goes through bloody Breathitt County, and we were on the right side. Sarah Elizabeth Smith, her daddy, is going to die at 40 years of age, probably going to die in jail, just 5 years in jail of some shit. Govan Smith. So he's only going to live for 40 years. Had, 3 or 4 kids. So Govan Smith, it wasn't just Sarah Elizabeth Smith, but Govan Smith. He was one of the 3 individuals firing shots at Ned Callahan, Doc Smith's brother, and said that somebody had previously attempted to kill Ned Callahan 2 years ago. No, this is Govan, Doc Smith's brother. So Doc admitted to being one of the 3 individuals. Did I say that right? Govan Smith is our guy, my family's, my Abraham Katari, your guy. You're triple great, right? If mine's a double, yours is a triple, you just add 1, 2. So Doc Smith's brother, Govan Smith. Doc Smith is going to be one of the shooters. So Govan Smith isn't one of the shooters, but Govan Smith was. They went ahead and 2 years ago, Ned Callahan got shot at, got injured, but he didn't die. And they sent the bloodhounds out, and the bloodhounds went to Govan Smith's door. And he admitted, that happened. So, yeah, that happened. Somebody tried to kill Ned Callahan 2 years ago. Yep. The bloodhounds went to his house. Yep. And then Bob Deaton, with his wife corroborating, went to a Thomas Davison assassination meeting regarding Ned Callahan. Thomas Davison said, hey, everybody, let's go kill this guy. And Bob Deaton went to it, but he insisted that he didn't care, that he didn't want to shoot Ned Callahan. He wanted to shoot and kill Ance White. Ance White had killed Bob Deaton's brother. Which one is that? So there is just, people are getting shot up left and right. There's like dozens, 6 feuds, 40-something murders, people just getting shot out in the woods, 3 Deaton boys out of nowhere. James Deaton is going to be one of the big ones that's going to start the feud. You got Amos, you got Captain Bill Strong, these are all Union guys too. There's a KKK element, but this is Breathitt County was all Union, just like Kentucky was. The majority of Kentuckians, the soldiers, the majority of the Kentucky people that fought in the war fought for the Union, including 25,000 black folks. So this is fantastic stuff. I want to read another paragraph to you. So essentially, I have, Grip, Shermer, Hellman, Damasco, Deaton, Smith, Baker, Couts, and that's Sally Ann Baker and Sarah Elizabeth Smith. Sarah Elizabeth Smith and Edward Deaton is going to give birth to Keith Albert, some Keith Deaton, Ralph Benjamin Deaton, Keith Albert Deaton, and then there's James Edward. I want to say that they had a James. So Edward Deaton had a James Deaton. James Deaton was the one that got killed 1898. He had like 9 kids. He come from a family, he had 9 siblings, 9 kids, something like that. So, fucking Jesus Christ, you just killed one of the most, one of the biggest families around. You just killed one of the most popular Deatons of one of the most popular families around. That's going to start a feud called the Strong-Callahan feud. And then Strong, he's Captain Bill Strong from the Union, and he was a badass Union soldier. Apparently made hundreds of Confederates' wives widows, so he widowed a whole bunch of Confederates' wives. So, yeah, I'm sure there's some resentment, but if you're not a racist piece of shit and, you know, you're for the United States of America, so that's awesome. He's a hero. Captain Bill Strong fought on the side of, you know, United States, Abraham Lincoln, black people in 1861 in the middle of Kentucky. That's fucking brave as shit and badass. So the thing I want to talk about, I guess I want to get into the Deaton's, the total amount of James Deaton's kids, the extent of his family. Because the men that were indicted is going to be Fletch Deaton, Dan Deaton, James Deaton, right? This is 10 years later, 15 years later, James Deaton is going to get killed. He's at the mouth of some creek. He's at the mouth of some creek, and then Ned fucking KKK Callahan comes over and says, "Is that my PV?" Trying to, you know, accuse him of stealing a tool or some shit. James Deaton goes for his gun. Pow, pow, pow. James Deaton's dead. So now fast forward 15 years, you got Fletch Deaton, Dan Deaton, James Deaton, Doc Smith, Elisha Smith. I bet they're brothers, right? They're probably related. Doc Smith, Elisha Smith. Any Govon Smiths? Anywhere Govons? Let's see. Asbury, McIntosh, Andrew Johnson, Abe Johnson, Billy Johnson, Abe's son, Willie Johnson. The Johnsons were really in on it. John's son, John's son. Red Tom Davidson. Oh, Red Tom. Why would they call him Red? That seems racist if he actually is native. John Clear and Tom Deaton. Don't forget about Tom. Old Tom Deaton. Is that Depot Tom, Bill's son? Old Bill Deaton's son, Tom Deaton. Is that who that is? You know, because you got Tom Deaton, Dan Deaton, James Deaton, Fletch Deaton, which I think is Drury, Fletch something or another. So what I'm looking for is James Deaton. I'm looking for the total amount of kids. So this is actually pulling up a lot. I got a lot of editing to do because there's a lot of James Deatons. Next morning, Thursday, James Deaton and Dan Deaton left James Deaton's house and went down Caney Creek towards John E. Deaton's. Doc Smith and Andrew Johnson remaining at James Deaton's. So, and then old Depot Tom, what's that motherfucker? Yeah, so Ned Callahan is the motherfucker that killed James Deaton, so fuck Ned Callahan, fuck that KKK motherfucker. So these people are saying James Deaton was in Fletcher Deaton's yard. They're fucking, you know, related. Are you kidding? On the other side of the ledger was James Deaton, Callahan's rival in business and politics. This is a good little paragraph here. He also had the support of a small army, most of them enemies of the Callahans and or former followers of Captain Strong. And on convention days, Deaton, like Callahan, rode at the head of several hundred men. Deaton was arrogant, boastful, several times made fun of the younger Callahan when they met at political functions. So James Deaton's a badass. James Deaton's a little bit cocky, but okay. He's not committing crimes or whatever. He's boastful. Made fun of him a little bit. Oh, look at Ned Callahan. Doesn't mean he has to, you know, accuse him of doing some shit just so he could hurt. Like the Callahans, the Deatons were a large and powerful family. But not all the Deatons were on James Deaton's side against Callahan. So that's, what the fuck is that shit about, right? It seems to me, Captain Bill Strong almost seems like good as gold. I haven't seen one bad fucking thing about Captain Bill Strong. What, he killed a bunch of Confederates? Fucking good. I wish he killed some more. James Deaton against Ed Callahan, partly because they regarded Captain Strong, Deaton's chief ally, as their primary enemy and didn't want anything to do with anyone. Oh, so some of the fucking Deatons were, you know, racist fucking bastards. But not James Deaton. James Deaton was a fucking badass motherfucker. So, I mean, he's going to leave, like, 9 kids without a daddy. He's going to, you know, turn 9 kids into a bastard because he got, you know, James Deaton got his damn head, you know, done shot clean off. And then apparently James Deaton wasn't even fond of Captain Bill Strong either. So they're on the verge of conflict, and they're loggers, and they're on a hill, and then one accuses the other one of, you know, dehorning the logs, rumored to have gone out moonless nights, cut the lines, holding the other's rafts, both, so they lose their entire log. Both station guards at their rafting sites, and their clashes were the basis for a stream of lawsuits. So let's see, how many siblings do you think? Is it 9? You think it's 9? James Deaton was just basically perfect, right? He's perfect. He was a badass. His only flaw was his perfection. His only blemish was his porcelain god-like qualities. That was his only blemish. He was, you know, God here on earth. Basically, he was Jesus. He was Jesus Christ. That's what I'm... And, you know, the Holy Spirit, he was the whole goddamn Trinity. That's who James Deaton was. When James Deaton does push-ups, the earth is pushed away from him. And then I feel like I'm on... Okay, so I'm not going to make a comment about... Oh, wait. James G. Deaton. James G. Deaton. Son of Isaac Pike and Sarah Gwynn, hailed from a large family. James G. Deaton had 10 siblings. One Melinda Johnson, Nee Deaton, William Bill Deaton, Nancy Ann Stidham, Thomas Deaton, is that Depot Tom? Mary Eliza Davison, short for Elizabeth. Charlotte Deaton, James G. Old James G. That motherfucker's a gangster. John Boyd went out like a gangster, so John Boyd, old Caney John. John Boyd Deaton, Drury Fletcher. So they were brothers. James G. Deaton and Drury Fletcher. Deaton, Drury. Drury. I don't know why that's so hard for me to say. Drury Fletcher, Ambrose Deaton, and Jeremiah Jerry M. Deaton. So James G. Deaton, son of Isaac Pike and Sarah Gwynn, hailed from a large family. He had 10 siblings. 10 motherfucking siblings. So, okay, James, you know, Ned Callahan, you just murdered James G. Deaton. Okay, well, guess who's knocking on your door now? You got Jerry and Ambrose and Fletcher and Caney John and Charlotte and Eliza and Nancy Ann Stidham and Thomas Deaton and William Bill Deaton and Melinda Johnson knocking at your door. Hey, what'd you just do to our brother, you motherfucker? Did you just kill our brother, motherfucker? It's 10 Deatons right there. So he's got a huge family. Isaac Pike Deaton and Sarah Gwynn. I'm not sure where Isaac Pike Deaton... He's probably dead, right? I mean, after having fucking 11 kids, how you gonna live through that? James G. Deaton, born June 14th, 1852, died October 13th, 1898, murdered by Ned Callahan. 1898, he's only going to live to be 46 years old, 46 years young. And he's going to leave behind 7 bastard kids. Now, this is a little bit of a speculation, but he died at 46 years of age. And James G. Deaton, this is when he won that election. He won the sheriff's election in 1898. This is the thing that culminates and starts the whole fucking feud. Of course it would. He's related to, so at the time he had 7, kids, so now they're bastard kids. Thomas Henry Deaton, is that Depot Tom? Sarah Jane Deaton, William Willie Deaton, Ollie. Apparently there's a Ollie Deaton. Nancy Ann Deaton, Lily Bell Deaton, and Levi Deaton. Now, Thomas Henry Deaton is going to die at 20 years of age in 1902. 1902 is when the fucking feud apparently, accelerated. That's just 4 years after James G. Deaton got killed by Ned Callahan in 1898. So, was Thomas Henry Deaton also killed by Ned Callahan and his men too? Getting back to the main point, 7 children, 7 kids. He's going to die 1898, but he had a Levi Deaton 1897. Just 1 year before he gets his head blown off. So he's got one Levi Deaton. He's got an Ollie Deaton. Don't know what's going to happen. Willie Deaton. And a Thomas Henry Deaton. And then Sarah Jane. I'm just thinking of the males because they would pass on the name. But Sarah Jane, Nancy Ann, Lily Bell. They don't have a dad now. They don't have a father. And then Ollie, something weird about Ollie. I don't know about that damn Ollie Deaton, but he was there too. So James G. Deaton, he had 7 kids. He had 10 brothers and sisters, 10 siblings, 7 kids. So 7 kids without a father. They're all going to be pissed off, wanting revenge, or and especially if they believe that it was some bullshit. Especially if they believe, like me, I think it sounds like bullshit to me, and they would be related, so you would just assume they would be biased. Anyways, right? Uh-oh. It's raining, so that means, my whole house is going to, it's going to leak. My whole house is going to leak, so good times. Great country. B105. I'm not sure where I was at since I looked for James Deaton. There was a paragraph where I was at before that I was kind of wanting to read. Let me just, let's go with Govan Smith. Let's see how many Govans we could find. So Bev Baker said that Govan Smith had told him that some money had been put up to pay the assassins of Ned Callahan. Bev Baker, shut up! So Govan Smith knew about a pot of money that was being spread around. Of course, Govan Smith is my fucking great-great-grandfather, and he was right in the middle of this shit. He was sick of fucking Ned Callahan, his KKK, white supremacist fucking ways, his corrupt fucking ways. 1898 killed James Deaton, and still 1912, so 14 years later, this motherfucker gets to run Breathitt County for 14 fucking years. My God, that, they want to say this is an assassination. The killing James G. Deaton was an assassination. I think he was a magistrate or some shit. Bev also heard Ed Callahan say that Doc Smith and Andy Johnson were 2 of the men who shot him. So Ed Callahan doesn't die immediately, right? He dies a week later. So Ed Callahan was like, it's that damn Doc Smith, who's brother of Govan, and Andy Johnson, which is, I don't know who that is. So where's the next Govan? Miss Molly Watkins swore that Govan Smith had told her that that Ned Callahan had to be killed and that some money had been raised to pay to kill Govan Smith. What the fuck is he? I guess he's asking, hat in hand, hey, can you get some money here? See what else? There's a Fletcher Deaton, Govan Smith, Tom Deaton, Govan Smith. Here we go again. Govan Smith swore that he had never had anything to do with any of the feud troubles in Breathitt County. Okay, well, he's lying about that, right? I mean, the bloodhounds went to your fucking door, Govan Smith. Your brother was the one that killed Ned Callahan. Govan Smith is like, I had nothing to do with none of this. Nothing to do with none of it. I feel like you might be the main trigger man now. I feel like you might be the main trigger man, Govan. So, yeah, they're going to get convicted and I think get thrown in jail, so, they're all afraid of this. But I feel like, in terms of justice and righteousness, Ned Callahan had to fucking go. He was in there for 14 years. That's a dictator. That's a dictator. You don't need somebody. Nobody should be in power for longer than 8 years. Thomas, or what's his face? Yeah, Thomas, but Washington, right? Set the 8-year precedent. Well, you're a mayor and you think you could be in there for 30 years. President only could be 4 or 8 years, but you're mayor of a tiny little town. You think you get special treatment more than the president? Are you kidding? So, Thomas Davison, there's a trial in 1914. We're looking for Govan stuff here. So he had, you know, a brother of Doc Smith. We had already talked about this. This is where I was at before, so let's read the paragraph, and then I think let's call this a day, huh? What do you say? This has been fun. So what? So what? Where's this damn paragraph you're sending? I thought there was a paragraph that was... There's a lot of racism that's going on around, and fuck. Okay. I'll just read this I'll just read. So it appears from the circuit court records that the Whites had him killed over the contract they signed with John Amos, who then owned the salt mine. This is, I think, a different feud out of Breathitt County, a Strong Amos feud. So another Strong, but the same, you know, Captain Bill Strong, the same one. This is how the Whites came to get the salt mine from John Amos. Joel Elkins was employed at the Goose Creek Salt Works, co-owned by John White and John Amos. The inability of the militia to be able to react in a timely manner and the failure to maintain law and order during the months before the trial pointed to the urgent need for a local constabulary organized through a smaller county structure with a sheriff. Thus, the Kentucky legislature established Clay County, December 2, 1806, from parts of Madison, Floyd, and Knox counties. Having local law enforcement, and plus, to get rid of Clay, if you're Knox and Floyd and Madison, you don't want that Clay County shit. Get them in their own fucking pen. Get them in their own little plantation, their own little prison plantation. Having local law enforcement, their own nation state, did not help maintain law and order. However, descendants of these combatants figured prominently in subsequent feuds that occurred in Breathitt, Perry, and Clay counties, leaving a bloody heritage for future generations. Well, there you go. Thanks a lot, Kentucky, you sons of motherfuckers. You sons of motherfuckers. Alright, here's one more. I'll give you one more paragraph, okay? William was the leader of the North Forkers during the Cattle War, which began in 1806 and continued for many years. This Cattle War is between the people who lived in the North Fork and those people who lived in the Red Bird River, a branch of the South Fork of the Kentucky River. In about 1812, William acquired land downriver in what would become Breathitt County. In 1812, this area is still Clay County. His new land purchase measured from above the mouth of Troublesome Creek past the mouth of George's Branch. He built his home on the west side of the river, about 1 mile below George's Branch, remained there most of his life, other than the year he lived on Meadow Creek in Owsley County, Kentucky. William was a small man with a quick temper. He walked with a cane and a limp due to having fractured a leg which didn't heal properly. In the later years of his life, he was a Baptist minister. William owned a lot of land, most of which he gave to his children. He owned 1,400 acres of Meadow Creek, 400 acres near Boonesville, and another land on Lost Creek, the mouth of Lost Creek. That's where James G. Deaton, which is a little bit of an assumption, and try to figure that out. If you like, that James Deaton ain't even close to any of your Deatons or Smiths or Bakers or Coutzes or Chitwoods. Chitwoods were in Tennessee, so none of these bloody. It was bloody. Was there bloody Tennessee? I bet there was some shit that happened. Winfield, the city of Winfield used to be called the city of Chitwood because James Chitwood was a Tory British redcoat motherfucker, and they killed him. And they said to his sons, "Are you British too?" And they're like, "No, nah, but we'll go ahead and get on out of here." And they did. They left. They fucking took off from North Carolina and went to Kentucky. No, Tennessee. And it used to be called Chitwood, and then something about the Civil War, mixed loyalties. They just called it Winfield or some shit. Probably, fucking Chitwoods was on the wrong side of one war. Probably on the wrong side of another. Where's Tennessee, too? That looks like the fucking area. That's Franklin, right? That's where, like, the worst Indian genocider, racist motherfucker, because they were the first colonizers, so it'd be... Yeah, I don't know. Okay, so... Well, the massacre, Yahoo Falls. The massacre of Yahoo Falls. That was the people out of Tennessee, so there's some fucking shitty Native American genociders coming out of that part of Tennessee. And the beginning of the nation's history, so... Mahala Susan Brock Callahan, 1791. She died in Chavis, Perry County. 1850. So here's the history of William and Jenny Callahan Strong. Oh, shit. So Captain Bill Strong was married to a Callahan? Well, fuck. Well, fuck. Is this Ned? Russell County, Virginia. William and Jenny Strong evidently moved to Russell County in about 1793. William Strong first acquired land on the North Fork of the Kentucky River near the mouth of the Grapevine Creek. This land measured from near Chavis. Grapevine, the Battle of Grapevine, and in Virginia. What am I saying? What is going on? So there's a marriage, there's children of Jenny Callahan and William Strong, Edward Strong, John Strong, Moses Strong, Thomas Strong, William Blackburn Strong, Mary Polly Strong, Alexander Strong, Isaac Pike Strong. There's Isaac Pike Deaton. What's up with Isaac and Pike being... Oh, that's Isaac Pike! Isaac Pike Strong, Isaac Pike Deaton, just trippy. Perry County, not Breathitt. Isabel Strong. And Henry Harrison Strong. So any of these Strongs, what, fucking Bill? Any of these Bill Strong? You know what? I have no conclusion. I have no